Hello everybody, welcome. It is indeed 1900 hours. We are on, we are live. The sound system tells me we're good and that you can hear me. I'm going to say we are live. Sound is running. There you go, all good, says Petra. Thank you for that. Oh, Peter, thanks. And all good, Claude, Sakthi. Petra, hello to you. Welcome everybody. It's nice to see you on. I have a session planned for you today, and I've also got a slight deviation because I got a message from one of the members. Paul, we'll do it after I stop recording, okay? I think it'll be very good, and I want to say a big thank you to Paul for the suggestion, the idea. So those people who are in the Telegram group know what the idea is, and I think it'll be a good one. Hi Mary, I don't mind sharing this strategy. I'll tell you what it is after my little sermon, if you like. Excuse me. Now, so I had other ideas for today's session, but then I was talking to and thinking about a single member in our group, an asset really. When we look at his contribution and the implications it carries, as well as the changes and the chances it suggests and or offers. First though, a sort of a backstory, and that is that humans need fantasy to make life bearable. As if fantasy was a small red or blue pill. No? Well, they need fantasy to be human. Santa, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny as a practice. They start you off young, you know what I mean? They start out believing the little lies in order that later when we're grown-ups we can believe the big ones like freedom, justice, mercy, duty and more. Try telling those 4 words to anyone who is in Ukraine or Israel or Iran or whatever the hell that's getting the crap bombed out of them at the moment. You know, there are none of those things in real existence. And you think they're not the same thing? Well, if you were to grind down the universe to the finest powder and sieve it through the finest sieve, you will not find one atom of justice, a molecule of mercy, or a slice of duty. And yet, humans believe in order, an invisible rightness in the world. They must believe in something, or what's the point? Well, that's my point exactly. The member wrote, and that was an introduction into what our member wrote, and he knows who he is, and the members in the group know who he is, but I'm still quite blown away by what he wrote, and I'll explain why. Started from scratch last Friday, he wrote, trying to rebuild my discipline by relying only on the major indicators of our strategy. Obviously he listed them, I'm not going to. And nothing else. I took 11 trades, he wrote, this morning. 6 were wins and 5 were losses. Total pips, just over 50 for the morning. I had similar results on Friday, so no complaints. If anything, I'm embarrassed to admit I'd have probably done worse if I'd tried to impose or engage my brain to the strategy rather than just being a robot and clicking when the signals trigger. Now that leads us to your thing as well, Paul, which we'll get to in a bit, I promise. So why is this so significant? Hi Rosa, you've missed a good bit. You'll have to watch the beginning. Well, it's one thing when the proprietor of the group makes those claims. Bear in mind, 11 trades, 6 wins, 5 losses. Okay, it's just over 50-50, isn't it? You just won more than 50% of your trades. That's great. So where was I? Yeah. It's one thing when the proprietor of the group makes those claims and carries out those tests, enters those trades without emotion. But when and I'm going to say relatively new, I know you're not, but relatively new member of the group does it, states it, and shares the results, well then it begs the question, doesn't it? The question, what on earth are you doing going to work, and I apologise for my bagged language there, Well, what are you doing going to work? I could name names here. You know who I'm thinking of. Yes, you do. I'll see you soon. Think on it though. 50 pips in a morning with a better than a 50% win rate. A bit better than a 50% win rate. Gates, maybe? Round table members. Applications accepted, of course, but please read through that post in your own time. I have made it public and hidden the names. Trial the process and check that you followed it to the letter. Why is all this important? Well, someone else from the other group, the Prosperity TraDeca group, they reached out and said, hey, we would like to get involved in your roundtable. And I went along thinking, yay, roundtable, we're starting, let's see what we come up with. And it was just questions. It wasn't the round table. It wasn't my idea of the round table at all. That just wasn't it. The round table is that, we don't even have a bloody table. I'm sat here in Carlo, and our learned friend who wrote the post, he'd be sitting somewhere else in a very far away country. But with the internet, the world is a bloody small place, isn't it? And he could be watching the DAX. Well, I'm watching the Dow or the NAS or something else. And Paul might join us and watch the FTSE, the UK 100. So far, I don't know that we have anyone else who could step up to that plate and carry that weight. I don't know. That's it. I don't know. But, you do. You know where you are, and you perhaps hide that from me. Anyway, my learned friend and poster of the comment opens the door once more to a potential round table. The idea was born many years ago, really, but until his post, we've had no other members at all who were able or interested, because I have discussed it with a few, and some said, no, not yet. We just haven't got the members. That's the reality. No one stepped up to the plate. I've discussed a one-to-one with the gentleman, and I'm happy to say I'm looking forward to this one. He's going to ask advice. He's already mentioned the kind of advice he wants to ask. It's very sensible kind of advice. Impressive. Bloody impressive is what it is. It's really, it's impressive. I don't know how else to say it. It's impressive. So I'm looking forward to that one. The answer he's going to get might surprise him a lot, but probably a lot less than he surprised me already, and very pleasantly, I must add. Many thanks again to you, sir, for that post. And I'm sure you might have dropped off. You might be elevator embarrassed already. I didn't name you. Nobody knows it's you. They probably do, because they're scrolling through now, but desperately looking for what it was you wrote. But it was worth writing, and it is life-changing. Rusty said, 4 gates a week, life-changing by the end of March. Exactly. And think about it this way, Rusty. Just for a moment, imagine you're on the round table and you're on it with, 3 other members, because maybe that's all we've got. But you're calling the NAS, I'm calling the Dow, Paul's calling the FTSE, and the other lad's calling the DAX. And I've got, this leads me nicely into what I've got on screen here now. I made this some time ago. I don't know why, but I have a CD of Elton John. I do know why. Tiny Dancer. I bought the CD of Elton John after watching a movie clip for the latest, what's her name? Anna de Armas. She was in the movie with Keanu Reeves, and it was, I forget, something about John Wick. That's it. It was one of them, and she was the ballet dancer, and the clip had the music in the background, Tiny Dancer. And oh, what a lovely song. I really, really liked it. So I listened to the CD, and on the CD is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. So look there, where green parts from yellow. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And we get our beloved cross at the bottom. The old double cross, if you like. One at the top, one at the bottom. And what I've done here is I've put the measuring tool on to draw, well, that's a hopper in. There is a hopper and a double cross out. If you held that for the full 54 minutes, and I wouldn't have either, by no means would I would have pulled out somewhere here, I would have gone back in somewhere here, but then look, it's a big round number, or 2, 48.6, a faff, 48.7, a faff, but you get the same pips twice. So that count, that pip count of 443 would probably be more like 450, maybe even 500 if there's 50 in the difference around this area here. I'll draw it on so that it shows in the recording later. If there's 50 pips in there, and look at the 720 and the low, maybe the big round number, and you're out and you see tweezer bottoms and Elever, higher lows, lower lows, divergence, and then a breakout from an inside bar, maybe you get these pips in that area twice. And okay, so that 443 would then maybe look more like 450, 460, for something anyway, certainly more than. But if you didn't, there is a hopper combo. Goodbye yellow brick road, and what you've got now is red going below the yellow brick road for yet more pips. There's a big round number down there, isn't there? Who knows about my big round number tendencies? Well, all of you basically. Where's my drawing tool? There he is. And of course, lower lows and higher lows to tell you that the big round number is as good as it gets, dude. TTYP, take, no, not TT, TYP, take your pips and leg it. So divergence, rejection of a line, signal, it's still a thing. And this bit in the middle, no man's land, and there's some more instances of no man's land. But yes, I made this and I called it Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. It's not something that we're going to be adopting within our sessions at all by any means, but it is something that I don't mind throwing out there onto YouTube so that the random Joe blogs out there is able to see that all you really need is a good strategy, a single good strategy, and the smarts to use it. Please do note that yes, we are looking at 14:30 hours here, and this is the US Open according to my time zone, Dublin, London, it is what it is. So yes, we expect some volatility. We expect all of our usual suspects, some minor divergence, the rejection of a line. I don't know what level we've got down there, but I dare say there is something down there. Let's put him back on and see what line did we reject. 38 or 48.4. Oh look, a big round number. Look at that, children. We just rejected a big round number with divergence to boot, and I dare say on a higher time frame it's bigger divergence. So DRS, in line with what we said last week, divergence, rejection of a line, signal, or what was it, discipline, rules, and smarts. Smarts, of course, being the smarts to use them. Plenty of pips available, plenty of moves available all day, every day. But yeah, online with me in the sessions, we've got some guidance around the high volume, high volatility issues. Have we not? Well, yes, we have. Now, that brings me nicely to Paul's question, but I'm going to end the recording for that one. So we're 13 minutes in. If there's any questions about anything we've discussed now, I'll take them and then I'll end the recording and we'll go on to Paul's question, which isn't really a question, it's a point, and I think it's great. It's a discussion point. So, any questions? No? Nothing? Nix? Nichivor? Nine? What languages were they? I've forgotten. Never mind. Look, 13 minutes, 46 seconds. I'm going to end the recording and say thank you all very much for watching this, and I'll see you on the next live session, and then we can go on with the proper questions and the rest of it. Thanks, everybody.